Hey guys, welcome back to Obsessed with Videos for another multimedia update. In this update I've got one standard Blu-ray and four 4K Blu-rays, one of which is a box set, and the last three are standard Blu-rays. And not to mention I've also got two cinema tickets in this update, but they're not from Cineworld. So I've been a bit quite adventurous over the past few weeks with my cinema goings with these two trips. So let's get started with those two cinema tickets. So the first cinema I've gone back to is the Showcase Cinema Deluxe in Leeds, in which the last time I went there was back in August 2021 to watch the re-release of the original Top Gun. However, this time I went to see when I went to Showcase, I went to see Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, which is the sequel to 2019's Knives Out, which I saw at Cineworld as an unlimited screening back in November 2019. However, the first one was released by Lionsgate, the second one is released by Netflix. As you may know, this film comes out on Netflix later this month, near Christmas time. But near the end of November, Netflix decided to give it a 1-week theatrical release starting on November 23rd, which is when I actually went to see this film at Showcase. So this is also the first time that I've seen a Netflix film at a cinema, or at least a film that Netflix has released worldwide, not just in international countries, which does not include the UK. Anyway, Glass Onion is rated 12A. As I mentioned, I saw it at Showcase Cinema Deluxe in Leeds on November 23rd, 2022 at 10 a.m. and I was in Screen 8, Row E and Seat 7. And since the last time I went to Showcase before this one was in August 2021, this means that this is the first time I've been to Showcase in like 15 months, or a year and 3 months. And the other cinema ticket I've got in this update, or the other cinema that I've gone back to, is the Odeon Lux Cinema in Leeds Thorpe Park, in which I haven't been there since it first opened in April 2019 when I went to watch the first Shazam there. Anyway, the film I saw this time was Die Hard. Now let me tell you something. Originally, I was planning to go see this film when it was re-released at Cineworld last year, but due to how busy the screening was and the risks of COVID at that time, because as you may remember, the Omicron variant was spreading rapidly at that time, and we didn't really want to take the risk of catching COVID, so we just stuck to watching to one cinema screening that month, which was Spider-Man No Way Home. However, after a year of waiting, I finally managed to see Die Hard on the big screen, even if it was not at Cineworld. Plus, I had a really good time on the seats at Odeon Lux anyway, because they're reclining ones, differently to Cineworld's and more akin to the ones that Showcase have. Anyway, Die Hard is rated 15, even though on home media and with its original UK release back in, I believe, 1989, the film was rated 18. But when it was reclassified by the BBFC was theatrically reclassified by the BBFC back in 2013, and that's another thing, because when I went to see this film on this screening, I actually saw the 2013 to 2019 BBFC card that was used when it was reclassified in January 2013, according to the BBFC website. I saw that card in front of it, and of course the original 1981 to 1994 20th Century Fox logo that appeared at the start of the film originally. So, anyway, as I mentioned, the film was rated 15. I saw it at Odeon Luxembourg Leeds Thorpe Park on December 9th, 2022 at 19:50 or 7:50 p.m. and I was in screen 6 and I was in row C and seat 14. And with that said, that means that the gap between these two trips I've had to Odeon Lux in both April 2019 and December of 2022 means that there's an almost 4-year gap between those. Or more specifically, a 3-year and 8-month gap. Anyway. Now on to the one standard Blu-ray which I've got in this update, which is it's Morbin time. Let's go morb all the bad guys. In all seriousness though, the one standard Blu-ray I've got in this update is Morbius, starring Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius. A new Marvel legend arrives, and it flopped at the box office on its initial run in April of this year, and also when it was re-released back in late May, early June of this year, due to the whole "It's Morbin time" memes that were going around, and the whole Morbius sweep that the film has made like $10 billion or something like that. Just all the memes that were spreading around the internet when this film was released. And the film was still a box office bomb. It's lost money for the company that made it, which was Sony Pictures. As you may have known, this is one of the films that was delayed due to the COVID pandemic, because originally it was scheduled for July 2020, but ended up getting delayed multiple times until they settled for an April release date of 2022, even though in the UK we got it one day earlier on March 31st. Also with It's Morbin time, I don't think, even though I haven't seen the film myself, I don't think that Jared Leto's Dr. Michael Morbius actually says It's Morbin time in the film. I think it's just a fake line, and a lot of sources seem to agree, so I guess we can almost conclude that Morbius does not say It's Morbin time or anything like that in the actual film. Those are all just lies and memes and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this is a release from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment that was released on Blu-ray back in June of 2022 this year. And there's the disc itself. And now onto the 4K Blu-rays, where we'll start with the box set which I've got, which is actually a 6-film box set of the Jurassic World Ultimate Collection, which includes all of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World trilogies, in which their films consist of Jurassic Park from 1993, The Lost World Jurassic Park from 1997, Jurassic Park 3 from 2001, Jurassic World from 2015, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom from 2018, and Jurassic World Dominion from this year, 2022. Obviously, this is a release from Universal, because they were the ones that released all those films. And the UK 4K Blu-ray box set had the distribution handled by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, because over in European countries, such as in some countries such as the UK, is what I meant to say, Warner Brothers handles distribution of Universal's titles, or at least many of Universal's titles in the UK, unless they're outsourced to companies like Dazzler Media or Medium Rare Entertainment, which a few of their releases have done over the past few, since like 2021, 2022 this year. And many of the Jurassic Park films are also co-produced. Jurassic World and Jurassic Park films are co-produced by Amblin, so their logo's there. And the first two Jurassic World films were co-produced by Legendary, because back when those two films were released, Universal had a deal with Legendary, which Legendary would go on to have deals with Warner Brothers, and just recently they announced that they would have a distribution deal with Sony Pictures. However, that deal does not include some of Legendary's upcoming sequels, like Godzilla vs. Kong 2, which is supposed to come out in March 2024, and Dune Part 2, which is supposed to come out in like November of next year, 2023. Interestingly enough, the box set actually contains two cases, one for the Blu-ray collection and one for the 4K collection. Let's start with the 4K collection first. Front, spine, back. There's the disc for Jurassic Park, Lost World Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. Now onto the Blu-ray case. Front, spine, back. There's the standard Blu-ray for Jurassic Park, Lost World Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. Now on to the standalone 4Ks which I've got, and one of the reasons I decided to leave the standalone ones till last is because they all three of them have one connection. They are all released by Disney, and they are all animated films. And the first one of which is Encanto, released by Walt Disney Animation Studios, or produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios. Released on 4K back in February of this year. Also contains the short which was included in the theatrical release of the film, Far From the Tree. There you have the 4K disc and the standard Blu-ray disc. Next one is Pixar's Turning Red, which was released on exclusively on Disney Plus due to the Omicron variant earlier this year, back in March. And also the back of the case actually has a picture of socks from Lightyear on the back. It's like they're heavily promoting it, even though it's just a small cameo for Pixar's upcoming film. In the actual film, where in the film itself, I believe that you have a picture of socks and a picture of the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command logo on the skateboard that belongs to Miriam, that one over there. I've seen the film, so I should know. I saw it when it was on Disney Plus back in March, and good film. And there's the 4K disc, and there's the standard Blu-ray disc, where you have the two different faces of Maylin Lee, or May for short, or Maylee for short, or simply May for short, where you have the two different faces she has when she turns into a giant red panda. And you also have her badge there as a human, where it says that she was a student from 2002 to 2003, where the film is, when the film is set, it's set in like 2000. The film itself is set in 2002, so it's set in the early 2000s. back when the director of the film, Domi Shi, was the same age as May. And the final 4K we've got in this update is Lightyear from Pixar as well. From the studio that brought you Toy Story, which is obviously Pixar. I think the reason they put that thing up there is because this film is connected to the Toy Story universe, or is a spin-off to Toy Story, because the film is about the origin story of the human that inspired Buzz Lightyear, and the film that Andy watched when he was back in 1995, which he was inspired to get the toy from. The front, spine, and back. And you also have another picture of socks there, also, albeit because however, that's because he's actually one of the main characters in this film. He's like the sidekick of Buzz Lightyear, or the pet of Buzz Lightyear. But you can see that Socks is on the back cover for Turning Red and on the cover for Lightyear, even though he just makes a cameo appearance in Turning Red, which is what Pixar usually do for their upcoming films, where they usually hint out what their next film is. There's the 4K disc, which has Zurg on it, and the standard Blu-ray disc, which has Buzz Lightyear and Socks on it. So that concludes this update, and I'm not sure when the next update will be yet, but anyway, stay tuned for more videos coming soon.